You have a great piece out on your Substack saying the only way out is through. What are you talking about?
So I think, and this is a part of a much longer project, the Total State book, which will be coming out here. But I think we're in a paradigm shift. We're going to be seeing the end of an epoch. We're going to be seeing a different way that states organize, a different way that governments organize, a different way that people kind of understand the nature of politics and constitutions and those kind of things. And I think that's coming because we can see the current system in collapse right now. We can see, again, how impossible it is for one side to think that another it's okay to hand them power after winning an election. We can already see how willing the left is to discard every bit of the Constitution, to ignore every ruling from the Supreme Court. Harvard already joking about how they're basically just going to completely ignore the latest ruling from the Supreme Court on affirmative action. The left is willing to break all of these rules. They're not going to put people in prison. They're not going to enforce the law. When you're in that situation, things can't continue the way they're going. And what that means is that we're going to have to prepare ourselves for a situation where we're probably going to be going through some difficult times. And we're not going to be able to avoid them because they're the consequence of decisions we have already made. All the easy choices are far behind us. Those off-ramps, they're all behind us. And now the only way out is through this difficult time. And that means that there's going to be some hard lessons to learn for the right. But if we can continue to focus on what we need to get done, there is a way through. It just isn't anything easy.
Well, how do we get through?
Well, I think you have pointed out, the possibility of national divorce. Now, I don't think that that's something that will ever happen formally. As you've pointed out many times, it's increasingly difficult for people to understand how they're going to share a country with each other. And while I don't think anyone's ever going to come by and say, hey, the United States is over, it's officially devolved, there's been some kind of secession, I do think there is a real situation where people are going to start sorting themselves. We're already seeing it now, people moving to Florida, moving to Texas, moving to Tennessee, trying to escape the progressive madness. And I think as those states start to get redder, as more and more people who are ideologically aligned and share values start to relocate to those areas, you can see people pushing back. You can start to see people like Governor DeSantis and others taking a stand against the corruption of Washington and saying, we're simply not going to comply with things that are unconstitutional, no matter what the pressure is from the federal government. And right now they're doing those in small ways. We saw those pushbacks during COVID and that kind of things. But as we see the federal government become more and more poisonous and the ideology of progressivism become more and more of a civilizational deconstruction mechanism, the only answer is going to be saying no to this stuff. And I think, again, as those different states start becoming redder, as they start solidifying their moral vision and their ability to stand up against this kind of stuff, you might see a way through to a place where we get a more regional government, a government that can, again, have that ideological alignment, that can have a shared moral vision that's no longer subject to the whims of DC.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Auron, you're the best, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Are you tired of watching your beloved nation fall prey to the insidious grip of communism? The Anti-Communist Manifesto by Jesse Kelly is the ultimate guide to fighting back against this destructive force. Discover the shocking truth about communism infiltrating our education system, corporations, and even environmental movements. Unmask the true agenda behind groups like Antifa and Black Lives Matter and learn how to protect the United States from the most malicious enemy. With extensive documentation of past atrocities, you'll see the undeniable danger posed by this ideology. Arm yourself with knowledge and join the fight to preserve the American way of life. The Anti-Communist Manifesto, a new must-read book from Jesse Kelly. Get your copy today at jessekellybook.com or wherever books are sold.